who's completely changed the world of horsemanship. Pat Pirelli is an educator, he's a horse behavior expert, and he's the man who invented a brand new program and philosophy in 1981 called natural horsemanship. Now, when he's not teaching clinics throughout the world or filming shows, you can usually find him in his farm in Colorado. And he's easily recognizable in his day-to-day uniform of blue jeans with a shiny silver belt buckle, cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, and his signature handlebar mustache. But Pat Pirelli wasn't always such a common name in the horse world, and his face hasn't always been so familiar. Because before he was presenting for people like the Queen of England and President Reagan, he was just a small boy from Oakland, California, trying to make a name for himself. And he was obsessed with horses since he was a kid. In fact, his first job with horses started at just 9 years old when he was a stable boy. And then shortly after that, he began a career in rodeo where he was a bronc rider. And then he began to shift his focus more towards training. So he began presenting at county fairs, state fairs, small events, really anywhere he could get people to watch him. And he gained an audience just one person at a time until he was eventually able to begin his own colt starting business. From there, growing his fan base bigger and bigger. Now, Pirelli's views were unique because he committed himself to becoming the type of rider that he thought his horses needed, not the other way around. So, for example, he once spent 3 months riding with just one rein, or even no reins if it was possible, just to make sure that he wasn't depending too much on his reins. And Pirelli eventually found that horses were easy to get along with, and he was really, really good at it, but people were a little bit more difficult to get along with. You see, he struggled to gain traction with his training methods in a world where people were really stuck on old-fashioned and old-time, like cowboy methods of training. Where Pirelli emphasized starting and developing colts, other trainers were stuck on breaking and training colts. And there was a point in his life when he began to get so frustrated with this environment and this mentality in the training world that he almost left it. He seriously considered it. But he didn't. And he's literally a small-town success story because of that. Now his audience has grown to over 2 million people in over 27 countries. He's been in over 1,000 magazine articles, and he has over 400 teachers to help him teach in places where he can't. Pirelli calls himself a horsologist, and he really focuses on teaching lateral training methods, meaning becoming a partner with your horse. And for me personally, Pirelli has inspired me to never stop the training with my horses. I didn't think I'd be able to stand up on the back of my horse and crack a whip, but I can. Or have my horse completely offline and tell it to go sideways, but I can. So his inspiration is amazing. And one of the most significant things I think about this entire empire that Pat Pirelli has now created was that he's willing to completely dedicate everything he had to make his passion a success and help make other people's passions come true. Because as Pat Pirelli often says, you've got to give something you never gave to get something you never had. Thank you.